A podcast has no name. They are untitled and they're oh so happy that you came to this revival. Yo, get hit with Ballard's Club when Megan mocks for Finn. See red for Becky Lynch when David cheers for the man. Straight out of Dublin and the Bronx when they watch games. He is a Blackhawks bloke, she is a Yankees dame. And they will say whatever the fuck they wanna say because Untitled means no limits and they're rated MA. When you got Megan and Dave, your podcast don't need a name. Untitled, it will remain. Untitled, it will continue to be. This podcast don't need a name. Untitled, it will remain. Untitled with Megan and Dave. Got more flair than Charlotte, make more bank than Sasha. Don't care if you don't like those Pats. Well, we watch Julian Edelman perform at peak perfection. Yeah, discuss it all at length, then change direction. Many topics, many episodes, and many emotional jabs. Old Dave will huff and puff whenever Megan gets mad. When Megan speaks her mind, the people run away. Cause yo, it's all Untitled and it's rated MA. When you got Megan and Dave, your podcast don't need a name. Untitled, it will remain. Untitled, it will continue to be. This podcast don't need a name. Untitled, it will remain. Now here comes Megan and Dave.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition for the Megan and Dave Untitled Podcast, episode 26. I'm your host, Megan, and that's Dave.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it is. Hello.
Huh?
I was just saying, is it me?
Yeah, you're Dave.
Okay.
Alright, so I am here, and we are ready to go. So, pretty interesting stuff going down this week. Extreme Rules.
Yeah. Oh boy. Should we just get the end of the show out of the way?
Yeah.
Okay. There's good news and bad news with this bit, depending on the situation, depending on the perspective.
Okay.
The good news. Well, this is Megan's perspective, at least. The bad news. Seth and Becky retained. The good news is Brock Lesnar cashed in and won the title from Seth.
That was the greatest shit ever. Put a picture of that shit up. We're gonna have Seth getting his ass kicked the whole entire show. Our show. So keep putting a picture up with that.
No.
Why?
Because I don't want to have all the Seth fans going after us because of that. It's bad enough you curse them out all the time. I don't want to have a visual aid of it.
Fuck Seth Rollins.
There you go.
I'm glad that motherfucker not champion anymore.
Well, I'm just gonna say this. They got a rematch, but now we're jumping ahead. We got a rematch at SummerSlam, so don't be surprised if he wins the title back there.
Then I would take my sabbatical from WWE until he loses the title. I'm sorry, Seth Rollins is not the best champion. His Intercontinental title run, even though I disagree with that was a decent run, but he's not the champion I want to say, to be honest.
To be fair, basically every reign for the IC title like the last 5 years has been mediocre at best.
Yes.
Like they don't really care about the IC or US titles.
which they should, because the IC is very prestigious. It's the workhorse title, and the US title is supposed to be another workhorse title. So what the fuck, Roger?
It's just a case of the only titles they really care about is the main titles that they're gonna give the part timers.
Yeah, or well, minus Kofi. Kofi's okay.
Well, the Universal title has been like, well, the Brock Lesnar, oh, we'll see you in 6 weeks belt.
Yeah, but he was well. Don't want to jump ahead.
Yeah. But anyway, we're already jumping ahead because we got the damn main event out of the way. Anyway, run down the card here. Oh yeah, by the way, so when we did the predictions last week, I tried to put in the rule where if new matches were to come up, we predict them, but if they came the day of the show, we wouldn't predict them. Like 4 hours before the show started, they added 2 matches.
Which
And the co-host here decided, just when it kept poking me, it's like, let's predict them. I'm like, no, I already said, let's predict them. I was like, you who get ripped up by Baron Corbin and ripped up by Corbin, fine.
He stole my line.
Yeah.
Corbin stole my fine line.
So we predicted them. And I said that if you ended up losing the show, if you then ended up losing the predictions by one vote, one match, it was your fault. Also, because we had 3 disagreements and you turned it into 4, we could have tied again.
Well, I just randomly picked what I wanted to pick.
Yeah. And, well, let's just get into it. Well, actually, while we're on the subject of WWE not really knowing what to do with the IC title, they announced the Intercontinental title match for the pre-show, 4 hours out of the pay-per-view, and they've made the title change hands.
But apparently there's a reason we'll get into when the show goes on.
Yeah, but Shinsuke beat Finn Balor, but, like, you announce it the day of? Like,
yeah,
I know you did the match on SmackDown. I would have thought, okay, if that could have been used to set up a, you guys use it to set up a match of the pay-per-view, which, fair enough. But you wait till, like, hours before the show starts, like, you not have done it, like, on Thursday or something, or, right after SmackDown, but no, you do it hours before the show. Ugh. That's a weird decision.
And I've seen people be a little bit upset about this, and honestly, I 100% don't blame me for being upset, because I felt it was a slap in the face on Shinsuke and Finn's part. However, the AEW go to AEW stuff, let's be honest.
People just like to put fuel on the fire. It's like they just want to, like, say anybody that loses at any time in WWE is going to AEW. Like, ugh.
And it started with Finn, and again we're gonna get into that towards the little bit of the end. But I don't know what the problem is. Nakamura is champion. Good for him and everything.
I don't have a problem with Nakamura winning. I just thought that you could have built this up a bit more. This whole thing, like, Nakamura basically was gone for 3 months, reappeared on a random backstage segment on SmackDown, beat Finn 2 weeks later, and then beat him without any build hours before the match happened, got booked hours before the pay-per-view, and won the title from him without any build. It's like, you could have done a lot more with this. You could have had, like, you could have had the match maybe a week earlier. No, it's not the SmackDown one. Have a week earlier. And then have Nakamura, like, beat Finn down, so, like, provoke Finn into putting the title on line of Extreme Rules. And there you go. You got a little bit of build, but it's just, it's happening. Oh, and the title changes hands. I've seen matches booked on the pre-show like the day of, like time match before. But I think, yeah, I might be wrong on this, but I think this might be the first time we've seen a title match booked on the pre-show the day of the show, and it results in a title change.
But obviously, along the way, dirt sheets were saying Heyman was upset that this was thing. Apparently, Heyman was not upset. This move was to counter, possibly Finn Hill. Again, we're gonna get into that. So,
yeah, we're gonna save all. Well, you're gonna save all the Finn stuff for like the very end because you're probably gonna be caught for like a half an hour on all this shit. And
mhm.
Anyway, a match that wasn't booked the day of, and of course, okay, hashtag give cruiserweights a chance on the main card. Pre-show again, Gulag, Jesus.
Gulak.
First it was Seki. What was it? Beth and Seki, and now I'm saying Gulag. True Gulag defeated Tony Nese.
Kind of the Philadelphia boy won. Yay!
Yeah. Well, there you go. So there you go. Oh yeah, by the way, we both picked Finn to retain the title against Nakamura. We both lost that one. That was a late prediction.
That was,
yeah. Alright. Gulag beat Nese. I believe we both agreed on this, and they got right.
Yes.
Then the first surprise of the night. It has to have been quite a really long time, if not ever. We've had The Undertaker kick off a pay-per-view.
I gotta admit, that match was lit.
Yeah, no, but it's just weird how The Undertaker start the show, you know? And start the show in a tag match of all things. I think it's like the last. I remember off the top of my head, I think the last time The Undertaker started a pay-per-view was, I think, Hell in a Cell 2008, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was like the Hell in a Cell 2008, he won the title from CM Punk. I think that was the last time on top.
2009.
2009. It was the first. Yeah, 2009. It was the first Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And he won the title from Punk on the first match. I can't think of any time since then they started the show. But anyway, yeah. And another thing that I heard someone else point out, in all this build for like the last 3 or 4 weeks with, you know, Reigns and Shane McMahon, Drew McIntyre and all that, it took the entrance of Roman Reigns for one of the commentators to finally mention that Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Oh, Lord.
Oh. So yeah, Undertaker and Roman Reigns win. Was that? Anything you want to say?
No, I thought The Undertaker looked pretty good here, to be honest.
Probably because he wasn't against Goldberg. I wasn't getting concussions. Or whatever it was.
And this match, you know, it wasn't cringeworthy. It was a better match.
There was that tombstone bit at the end, though.
Yeah, that okay. Never mind that. Yeah. But Undertaker, they said fans Undertaker looked great. Mm-hmm. You know.
And then Taker's still over as hell.
Yeah.
Revival retained the Raw Tag titles against the Usos.
I did not expect. Well, I was an idiot. I sucked.
You expected a title change.
Yep.
There you go. So, yep, there you go. They were knocking for a couple of weeks. Now the door's open, and he got his teeth kicked in because of it. As a Black TV Cesaro.
Yo, I'm gonna say this right now. Black versus Cesaro, that was clean.
You can't go wrong with either guy. Put them together. That's a must watch.
That match was crisp, like crispy. I loved it.
Are you gonna eat it?
Hell yeah.
Okay, Bayley retained the SmackDown Women's title against Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss.
Not really That's when I kind of understand because Alexa did have a sinus infection, so I understand what happened here.
There were a lot of questions going around this match of what could happen. There was a question about Alexa Bliss if she was even going to be in the match. And there was also a lot of people talking about, oh, is Sasha Banks going to come in? Is she going to be in Bayley's corner? Is she going to have some kind of, altercation at the end of the match? Is it, that kind of thing? And it turned out nothing happened.
Obviously, I think at this rate, Sasha is going to be coming back by Survivor Series time or after.
After Survivor Series.
Yeah, because it happened.
Or do you mean after SummerSlam?
Excuse me, SummerSlam. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. There was also no talk of Sasha on the Raw after, so we'll see. Excuse me. Braun Strowman defeated Bobby Lashley in the Last Man Standing match. The match ended when Strowman body slammed Bobby Lashley through a conveniently placed box in the entranceway or the alleyway, where a conveniently placed crash pad in the middle.
Oh, that was wild.
in a weird way, I was kind of expecting more destruction.
Yeah, me too.
In a kind of surprising twist, the New Day would win the tag titles, the SmackDown tag titles.
Obviously, I think I saw that coming, but I didn't expect it. I thought it was going to be SummerSlam.
Yeah, you didn't think it was going to happen here. New Day've got the they have all the titles now. Each one got a title of their own. So I'm kind of wondering though, will the Freebird rule still work with this?
It could, might have as well, yeah.
Yeah, no, because would that mean that Kofi would be singles and tag champion at the same time?
It could be, yeah.
We'll see. AJ Styles wins the US title against Ricochet.
Poor Ricochet.
Yeah. Though I can kind of understand putting the title on Styles.
Yes.
In another match that was added the day of, and a match that made me wonder why they, another match that made me wonder why the hell they added it in the first place. Kevin Owens defeated Dolph Ziggler in 17 seconds.
What the fuck?
Arrive, stunner, copyright infringement, leave.
Oh, jeez.
And then Kevin Owens got on the mic and went out to Shane McMahon, so we know what's going to happen. We know the feud's going into SummerSlam. We're still going to get Shane McMahon. He's still here. He lost to The Undertaker, but he's still going to be around.
I thought, Undertaker, why didn't he kill him off?
Kofi defeated Samoa Joe for WWE title, retained it.
That was good.
I feel bad for Joe. He is now the textbook definition of always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Because I believe I saw someone say that Joe is now 0-6 in world title matches. Yeah.
Wow.
Something like that. And then we just cover the end of the match. At the end of the show. I know. Okay, there's one. Okay, I'm just gonna say, going back to the winner takes all match. There's one spot in that match that I think the two of us have different opinions, different views of. More because I think it was a good spot and fair play to those that did it. You, because you were laughing your ass off on it. You know the one I'm talking about, right?
That shit with Corbin and Becky made my night. Fuck this. Fuck this. That made my night. I was sad, but this shit made my night.
You still don't like her, I'm guessing.
Especially with Seth losing. That shit made my night.
I'm guessing you don't like her still, no?
No.
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is, at least mine still has a title. Anyway.
Okay.
Quick run of SmackDown.
What?
Do we do a run of the shows?
Well, obviously it was just wild card week. Wild card week actually matters to me.
Well, it's been wild card all the time. Oh yeah, it mattered to you because, well, guess what? We all needed a sacrificial lamb.
What?
No, they needed somebody credible to get beaten up for Bray Wyatt's return.
Well, I still liked it because I saw Finn, but they didn't like the part when he got beat. That made me sad.
But that also meant you ain't gonna see him on SmackDown.
Yeah. The SmackDown had the town hall meeting. I know we're jumping a little bit around, but SmackDown had the town hall meeting. There was nothing really spectacular going on for Monday Night Raw. It was just a typical Monday Night Raw. So, kind of disappointed in the Battle Royal because we all fucking knew who was going to win that shit. And what a slap in the face.
I think like WWE is kind of like they're giving themselves like the best of both worlds because they said, or I know back in like January says, oh, we're gonna get rid of immediate rematch clauses. I was like, you can't automatically get your rematch, but it's like we still want him to have his rematch, so we'll put this Battle Royal.
Oh jeez, that's a slap in the face. I felt, fuck Seth Rollins. Fuck him. Hate him.
I know you do.
But SmackDown, you have like 3 women's matches. Charlotte versus Liv, Ember and Bayley versus Mandy and Sonya, and Ember versus Bayley. I hope Ember wins. I mean, Bayley has improved tremendously with her personality and character and got me involved. I hope Ember wins.
I just have a bad feeling that it really kind of depends on Sasha, because in a weird way, I can kind of see this be a repeat of last year with Becky, Carmella, and Charlotte. In that you're supposed to have Becky versus Carmella for the title, and then Charlotte swoops in, goes in and takes the title. This could be the same thing if they're gonna have Sasha come in for SummerSlam. I see this happening.
Oh jeez.
So they could do a repeat.
So I don't know. I'm kind of nervous with that.
Yeah. On the Raw side though, the one that kind of surprised me, but also now that I remember where the show is, I still kind of a bit confused actually. It's now going to be. Sorry?
No, go ahead. I was going to say it.
It's Becky and Natalya for the Raw title.
Now, I didn't care about the first feud back in 2016. I wasn't really careful, but let me be 100% honest here, and I'm going to be honest. I think Natalya can win it because the Hearts are really good at SummerSlam. She did win the title at SummerSlam back 2 years ago against Naomi. But let me be honest. I think Becky's time as champion is running up, and what kind of killed her is the whole Seki bullshit.
Hell, even I said that. Like, I'm someone that can actually, like I can actually be someone that's actually critical about my own. Just saying. Like I said that last week. That's like It's like since Becky turned turned face, I guess you could say. The edge of her characters kind of faded away. Which, of course, is always WWE's way of, if a heel has gotten popular and is cool, we turn them face, and like, will slowly turn them into genetic babyface, and hopefully nobody notices. But I will say that when the promo happened, the face-to-face promo, you could see it coming back. And I kind of feel like if they're gonna do this match in Canada, Becky's gonna have to be the heel. So I think she would need to go back to what she was back in the end of last year. Because she can be cheered a bit, like popular a bit, but Bizarre World, they will always side with their own. But my only real concern is, and there's no disrespect to Natalia and all that, but is it too late for her? Like, this could be like her last proper chance / run. If she does win, this will be her last run. I think. To be fair, she's been what? At least 10 years, maybe 12.
11.
No,
12.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Which, to be fair, is a pretty long career if you think about it. For like, at least for women's wrestlers, very long. Because if I remember correctly, it's like, on average, like a good women's career is probably what, 7 years maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that? And she's gone 12.
And don't forget, she's done wrestling beforehand and before WWE too.
Hell, Becky and Natalia were like working together in 2005. So they have the history.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The history is there.
Oh yeah. And I kind of hope the history turns into a good match.
It does. Let's put the battleground shit versus her away. Versus that. I want to see a good match out of both of them. Let me be honest.
They can do it. It's just a case of like, can they or will they be allowed? Yeah. And I'll say one thing. It's also kind. Here's the thing I don't get. It's like with Becky anyway. It seems like she keeps dropping these kind of. I feel like she keeps dropping these kind of hints where she doesn't like the fact that WWE were bringing up the Seki stuff. She even mentioned it again in the promo. So it's kind of weird. Yeah. And also another case. With a few good cases this week actually of, PG is ending. At least what people think it would be, because Natalia dropped the B word and the A word. There's that. So yeah, and 2 hours back, folks. Yeah. Anything?
Okay.
Yep,
no,
sure.
I agree.
Yeah. In other news, Jake Maverick is probably gonna get divorced. Also, I kind of don't want to touch the. If I ever get a chance, I probably will never want to touch the 24/7 title ever again, because basically Drake Maverick used the title as underwear.
And he had underwear on.
Oh yeah, but he had it in that. Well, actually, to be fair, all titles are in that area.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, no, and R-Truth basically, Drake Maverick lost the title on his honeymoon to R-Truth, because R-Truth is very interested in visiting couples on the honeymoons, apparently. Yep. Anything else of note?
Well, I do want to get into that topic.
Is there anything else before we get there?
Not really. I think we've covered everything besides people yelling at Shane, Roman telling him Shane to kiss his ass, Liz, Morgan coming back defeated by Charlotte, the Kabuki Warriors losing to the Iconics. Well, they won.
No, actually, they won, but they didn't win the titles.
Yeah,
So,
I think something.
so probably they're either gonna build at the SummerSlam or they're just gonna do it next week and Iconics win and there you go. That's the end of the feud.
That would be dumb. And then, as I said, Ember and Bailey versus
Nobody. Sorry. Sorry.
Fire and Desire.
Fire and Desire.
And I guess that was it. It was just a typical SmackDown. It's not one I cared for.
By the way, have they dropped that the hint of the Mandy and Sonya thing? Like they hinted something, and now it's like I don't even know if they've even mentioned it since.
Honest to God, I do not know.
or at the very least, they're not making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
because that would be very bad, very confusing. So I guess I'm taking the floor.
Yeah, you're taking the floor, and don't expect me to say anything.
Well, I do need some backup, and if I ask you something, I'm going to ask you something. Okay, so obviously, the second Intercontinental title run of Finn came to an end after 98 days. I can't check that date, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Keep talking, I'll get into you.
Okay, so obviously the second title run of Finn, I know he wanted to prove it long from the first one. We had hopes with him going to SmackDown. Obviously, it was a bust in a way. And
there was actually one other thing I meant to say earlier. There is good sign of Nakamura being the Intercontinental Champion because I said he actually knows a thing or two about being Intercontinental Champion. New Japan.
Yeah, New Japan. Okay. Anyways, so
also, while I got it here, it was 98 days.
98 days, right. Alright, so, alright, where is my headphone? Alright, there it is. Okay, so, obviously, I'm not upset. Well, I'm kind of upset because I was hoping the second title run would mean something. But obviously, with the whole wild card shit, him not being on after the Super Showdown, honestly, this second title run did not help him. Even though he is my favorite Intercontinental Champion now, I was looking for it, and I'm kind of disappointed. Obviously, happy for Shinsuke. I just hope Shinsuke, for the sake of Shinsuke, for the sake of Shinsuke, I think he has a good title run. So, kind of disappointed in how this went. Obviously, news reports, they said one thing, and they could say, during Extreme Rules, Brad Shepard again says that Heyman was the one that took the title off Finn, was called for it because he went along the line he wants to do the class. Okay, so Finn was like, bye-bye, and everything was like, oh my god, what the hell is going on here? And then fans were like, oh my god, fuck you and everything, knowing their people and how they now hate Finn because he allegedly did something, which I don't want to get into because that's going to fire me up. This is just my show, this is my floor. And I don't want to get sued for this. So I'm going to leave it at that. And then news reports saying he's taking 2 months off after SummerSlam. The report is now inaccurate. It's 1 month now, and then it's an injury. Dirt sheets. This message is to you. Who are your sources? Where are you getting your sources from? Are you going in the back and saying anything? Why is it all of a sudden it's a heel turn in the making, possibly, to 2 months off?
And you just went silent.
Somewhat.
You just went silent after the last 15 seconds.
Okay. Hello?
You're good. Now you're not.
Finn
Nope, you're gone again.
is...
You're back now.
Hello?
Hi.
Okay. They said that Finn is eloping with Vera. They're gonna marry, from what I've read, even though it should have came from their mouths, to be honest, not the fucking dirt sheets. That's what kind of pisses a little bit, because it's already out. Confirm it. You're having news reporters. So this got me thinking. The wheels started turning in my head. People want to see the demon versus the fiend, which is Bray Wyatt's character, the clown versus the demon. This makes up the whole scenario. If you're gonna have Finn off TV to come back at SummerSlam, I want to make it a match. I would have like a segment where you're basically writing him off. But I was talking to Dave about it, and the wheels were turning in my head. And I'm thinking to myself, people are going to blame Vera for this. Yada, yada, yada. And I said, you've seen strange things happen in the past. What if she witnesses the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, beat down Finn? What if? I mean, Dave and I, for a split second, thought she was actually going to come to WWE because the way it sounded, but obviously she's a big fan of WWE, so I guess that gives more Finn of a reason to stay.
Nah, to be fair, that was I didn't think you thought she was joining WWE, but you just assumed because you were watching a video that had text on it that was not English. And you just always said, Vera was joining WWE, when it was basically along the lines of Vera likes WWE, or is excited for WWE.
But I'm gonna have to throw shade a little bit, but hey, it must be good getting your dream with being a WWE superstar. We all wanted to be with one at one point,
or be one.
Let's not front, or be one. Let's not front here. You got what you want, girl, and God bless you for that. Anyway, and I did a weird face with that. So, anyways, that like I said to Dave this morning, the wheel started turning on. Like, what if she showed up in WWE? I mean, as I said, Dave and I always say, "Oh, hey, I'm Finn's manager and sidekick in a way." What if I turned heel and beat her ass to join the Fiend? That would be something.
Yes,
I'm pure.
Yes, Megan has been thinking about this so much that she's been thinking about what she's doing her own fantasy book, and about how she would book herself in WWE with busted knees.
Busted knees, right? No, but all joking aside,
I'm gonna keep saying that until it becomes a T-shirt. Damn it.
Okay, so busted knees. No, so we're not gonna fantasy book there anymore. But I'm just saying, what if that happened? That would be like, oh my god, the people that supposedly hate Finn for supposedly he doing something that you can't prove and point on, like, small dick asshole who put his dick out there by cheating. You know who that is. And obviously Edge said it. So anyway, so that's a proven point there. But what happens if that would have happened? People would be pissed. Fangirls, I would think it would be pretty funny. And on my Snapchat, I was going to say, oh man, but I'll be laughing at that shit. So another thing is this, and Slice, who happens to be 99.9% accurate half the time, said that
doesn't make sense.
What?
99, but he's accurate 99% of the time, half the time.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He's 99% accurate most of the time. Is that better?
That's better, but that's still. It's just he's accurate most of the time. 99% would be most of the time. Like.
All right, so Slice is accurate. I think and it made sense because he said something was going to report, and obviously, as you think about it, that could be the reason. And the reason being was, if I can find the report, agreed on him needing time off, mainly due to minor injuries plaguing this Finn, including leg injuries stemming from his finisher, which is the coup de grace. He may have to change his finisher to avoid long-term injuries. And honestly, I'm going to say this, that 100% makes sense in a way. Because if you think of it, the coup de grace, you're rolling around if someone misses. You're basically jamming yourself up. The one thing you don't want is restless leg syndrome.
Or just broken legs.
Or a broken leg. And I can understand what that means. I can fully understand it. So if this is just to heal up injuries, I agree. And I think this is probably why he's taken off. Even though WWE should have booked him if there was something more happening, then obviously the injuries make sense. And we don't want someone injured. Now, as for Bray versus him at SummerSlam, have him be written off in a way. Then they said 2 months, right?
I guess.
It's 2 months. Am I correct?
Like it's 1, it's 2, it's whatever.
Okay, so we're just gonna say it's 2 months, basically. So 2 months. The next pay-per-view would be, because 2 months would be around my birthday, October. If I can go on Wikipedia. I know they said don't believe
it. Will be two. It will be. There is, as of right now, there is no October pay-per-view. There is Clash of Champions at the end of September, and then the Saudi show November 1st.
Okay, yeah, I do see that. Oh shit. Okay, so obviously I don't see him being returning to Saudi Arabia. You know what? My best bet is before Survivor Series. Because that way, well, would you actually have? Okay, I don't know. I'm confused there. But anything can happen between now and then. They have something called Smackville happening. I kid you not. These are the matches. Oh, wait a second. He is going to be on Smackville. Him versus Nakamura. I'm not predicting that because it's going to be a glorified stupid house show. So he is going to be on SmackDown. So he's not really taking a hiatus yet. I don't know what could happen between now and then. That's my thing. However, if this is the case, then he does need time to rest, and so for him not to get injured. Other than that, the only other thing I can possibly think of is him getting potentially married. But then again, you can say they're rushing a little bit things. So I don't want to get into that. So anything you want to add, or I just hit it all on the button?
Go.
What?
Oh, just go.
All right. So obviously, I think I've covered everything. But another thing that a friend asked me is, if he's taking a sabbatical, is she taking a sabbatical too? Because that would be very dumb if he's resting up and she's not doing shit. I'm like,
how should I know?
I don't know. Shit. Alright, so is there anything else we should add?
I don't think so.
Alright, guys. So I guess that wraps up our show. Tune into next week's podcast where we'll talk about anything. Hopefully everything will look better. So thank you guys for listening.
Yep. Bye.